Let's go, baby. Race is underway. Big jumps already off the top ropes, dropping down into the snow. This race is already heated, Croncy.
The second that you start, you just get to floor it.
Man, they are really pushing it to the metal here. We see Herbie, Aaron the God, pinned right behind. Diplomat taking a big different line here. And then we got wired in from Delta Dietis right behind the pack as well. So, and then you got McNasty Splen, Negerthal Circle Worm, Salem Frost. But man, you called it out, Croncy. We got Herbie way ahead of the pack there. And wow, he is moving.
Look at how close everyone is together right now. This is four
Gunning,
races,
man.
like literally right next to each other. So it's going to be interesting watching them come out of this section. One thing I did notice as people have started coming around, oh no! Oh, you hate to see that. Hitting one of the lampposts, loses 2 positions.
Yeah, and then one thing I love about this race too is that the racers are going to be going through 2 different biomes. You got the snowy mountain pass biomes, and then you have just mountain passes, trees in the forest biome, you know, going all the way to Calhoun, turning around and coming back is actually a gorgeous track.
Yeah, it is kind of cool because we haven't had this race at a full night in the last 2 years. It is really cool watching them right now in the trees have these 2 lines of lights as they're traveling through. Just goes to show and how amazing these races are getting and how much practice they're putting in. It is awesome.
Herbie finishing first place here in race number 2 with the System 7.
And then we also just saw Diplomat from Far Out and Ludox from Blackhawks getting 2nd and 3rd place position, picking up some podium seats.
We're out here having the time of our lives, and these racers are the top 16 racers currently right now in Star Citizen.
Stinging in, audio's yours.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the System 7 presented by Game Glass. And as always, my name is Crucian Gaming, and I am with the lovely man himself here. We got Croncy all the way from Australia casting with us today. Croncy, how are you feeling today? We're in race number 3 here in the System 7. I'm like always, man, I'm excited. How you feeling?
Yeah, we are well and truly in the dog days now. We're in the middle of the races. We have some leaderboards now. We can see that there's a lot of fighting already starting amongst some of our top players. It's going to be a race to watch today. It's been really good so far, seeing the first 2.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. But before we jump into any information about the race, I just want to give another shout out there, man. Another banger highlight there from Esper, showing what, you know, race 2 was all about. And before we talk about that, Croncy, tell us a little bit about your experience with Star Citizen this week. Like, how's it been for you? How's how's the experience been overall? I know Xenothreat's been messing up things a little bit, but overall, how's your experience been?
Yeah, look, it's been a bit of a rough week, but, you know, we have these rough weeks every now and then, and we overcome them, and then we get to have a pretty good experience. Did manage to have an actually pretty decent experience one day this week, playing some Xenothreat, and, awesome. You know, race practice in a couple of servers was unaffected. So, you know, there's definitely still opportunities to get in there, but I'm really starting to get excited for 319 with hopefully some stability fixes.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, glad to hear. Now, I saw you earlier today also doing a little bit of casting over at the Crocs Cup. Can you tell us a little bit about that as well? How's that been going for the team over there? It looked a lot of fun. I tuned in, and yeah, very excited. But how was it over there with the servers? Everything okay?
Yeah, we managed to have an actually like pretty decent experience launching in as a large party, and you know, we didn't have to deal with any of the issues that something like Xenothreat might have caused. And it's been pretty good, but this is a big weekend for racing, and we have a couple of people in the race today who are actually participating in both. So massive shout outs to them for being able to play in both of those. But yeah, it's awesome to get a little bit of flying racing in and watch a little bit of that. But you know, you know me, I'm more keen on the ground races. I'm more keen on looking at Cyclones and Dragonflies and watching what they can perform. So yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, Croncy, last weekend, myself and the Ammo crew was over at Con 42. So it was absolutely incredible because at Con 42, we got to meet a lot of the community. But before I go into some details about Con 42, we got a little video for you guys. So we'll be right back. Enjoy. All right, and now we're back. A little quick video and a recap there of just Con 42 and how the vibes were, man. It was an absolutely great experience. I just want to thank all the organizers for, for just coming out and putting on a great show because we definitely had a great time over there at Con 42, Croncy. And I'm going to say this every time. Doesn't matter the scale of an event, man. Whether it's a bar citizen, whether it's a big event like Con 42, Beacon, or Citizen Con, man, go out there, meet your fellow citizens because it's so much fun, man. I go to so many events and I never have as much fun as when I'm out there meeting the people in the community that I truly love, the StarCitizen community, man. So it was a great experience, Croncy.
Yeah, it was really awesome to follow along. I was watching all of the TikToks. I was watching all of the Twitter videos and whatnot. It was really cool to see you guys pop in there. And I'll insert that plug. If you guys do want to watch, some shorts from those events when the ammo guys are heading out, or if you want to see future ones with, probably CitizenCon and stuff, make sure you go follow on the TikTok and check out some of those videos.
Yeah, man. We follow on all our socials, Aopoa Esports, Instagram, TikTok. We have them all. So whenever we go out to the event, we definitely go out with a cool content team. We have photos that we take throughout the event. So definitely stay tuned for more of that stuff. But for right now, Croncy, let's switch gears right back into System 7, race number 3 here, Babbage Bash. Now, Babbage Bash was supposed to be race number 6, but we had to turn it over because, for River Canyon Chaos, there were some trees, but guess what? 318.2 is live. There's no more trees, but we're still going to leave it over for race number 6. So let's take a look at the results from last race, Croncy. Croncy, break it down for us, the leaderboard, because, let's just talk about the current leaderboard standings and how we feel it's going to change for race number 3 today.
Yeah, so last week, we had our second and final Cyclone race, if you discount the Lorville Loop, and so we saw a lot of players able to solidify themselves within that top 8 position. I mean, just look at the absolute commanding lead at the moment that Punch Buggy has in first place. We saw some very, very consistent results from Blackhawks over the last 2 weeks, able to put themselves into that 3rd place, and it's going to be very, very hard and a bit of an uphill battle for a lot of these races to get up there. However, we do know that a couple of these people up in the top leaderboard, they're not as confident in their abilities with things like the Nox, right? They're very much Cyclone focused. We sort of expected these kinds of results. Whereas today, we're going to see people like Diplomat, like Nezrathil. We have a lot of these racers who absolutely love doing these Dragonfly or Nox races, and I would say it is a much harder vehicle to master than the Cyclone RC is. So it's going to be very interesting. We know that there's a lot of tactics that are going around, but I would expect that we are going to see a lot of this change. Maybe some of these races that we're seeing in the bottom 8, Viva, Frontier Consolidated, Ghost Corporation, I expect to see a fair amount of good performances from them, and not to mention Splen as well. Yeah, this is where we're at the moment. There's still lots of races left, but you really need to start thinking about right now which races you want to focus your practicing on, because you really, really need those podium positions.
I totally agree there with you, Croncy. I'm going to say this one last time. All right, we ran 2 back-to-back Cyclone RC races. There's no more Cyclone RC races until race number 7. That is the Lorville Loop, by the way, which I'm fingers crossed that if we do the Lorville Loop in 319, we're going to see one of the best races we've ever seen. With Lorville changes in 319, it looks immaculate, looks beautiful. I had a tear looking at, ISC last week. But let me tell you something, right? We got Herbie, we got Punch Buggy. I'm not going to count him out, right? He's at the top of the leaderboard right now. But the Nox is a different beast. It's a gravel vehicle. You need to have, level your balance up and down in order for your Nox to have a certain amount of speed. Even though there's a lot of ice, right, going through the city of New Babbage, it's going to be a difficult one because they need to be able to adjust. They got 5 laps for this Babbage Bash race in order to kind of, get some points on the board. I think it's going to be a little bit more difficult. I hope we see some leaderboard changes. I really want to see Nezrathil really put something in. bring Viva out of that 14th place and hopefully catch back up there. You also have Diplomat, who's a great gravel racer, who's won a lot of races back on yellow with the Dragonfly. So that could be another one. So we got a Splen, who got third place in the Daymar Rally, using a gravel vehicle as well in the bike division. So we have a lot of great perfectionists in the gravel vehicles. So I feel like if Herbie practices like he does, I'm not going to say he doesn't have that chance, but he has a lot of competition moving forward into race number 3. Let's take a look at our race number 3, but course 6 map, the Babbage Bash today, so we can get a little bit more details on that. But Croncy, man, like you've been saying throughout, this is the best competition we've had in Star Citizen so far, and I am looking forward to this one. But let's break down this map real quick, because I remember when we initially brought this out during CitizenCon, Croncy, right? During CitizenCon, we had the incredible pleasure of helping Robert Space Industries release the STV, and this is a track that we created in order to release it, because the views, we had new Babbage, it looked beautiful, and everybody was like, oh wow, there's a lot of ice, right? Obviously there's a lot of ice. Is about, I'm gonna say 60% ice on the track as opposed to 40% going through the city. But this entire map, right, is so beautiful. And the challenge is, once you take that left turn, add those fuel tanks to get into the city, Croncy, that's when the real challenge begins. So, I mean, knowing this, Croncy, how are you feeling? Which competitors are really going to shine out today? And who are you rooting for this specific race?
So all things considered, including, some information that I've actually gotten from the races over the course of the past 2 weeks, it's very hard to figure out what's going to happen. We know that we are likely to see a lot of explosions today. That is sort of just the nature of the vehicle. If you really want to get those fast times, you've got to push it hard. And, when we get into that city section, we're probably going to see some explosions. So because of that, we've heard from some races that, they've got an idea of, they're probably going to still go fast on the lake. It's relatively riskless. I'm not going to fully say that we're going to see no explosions there, but you can definitely push it a lot more on the lake. Once you get into the city, we're probably going to see people come down to about 50 meters a second. So a little bit slower, so they can have that maneuverability, so that they can deal with some of the jumps that sort of happen as you're going over the hills, and just not be as risky with that. So with all that being said, it's kind of hard to choose. I would have to say, based on past performances, either Nezrathil or Diplomat are probably going to be the ones to look for this race.
Yeah, I feel you as well, right? It is just crazy to see that, again, this is not bashing any competitor, but Viva being down in 14th place right now, right? Like, how do you bounce back? How do you concentrate? And how do you, continue to keep that confidence going up after, the Cyclone rounds weren't going your way? Because, you have a master in Nomis, you have the master in Herbie, you got these, Cyclone RC masters that know how that vehicle works like the palm of their hands. And now we're going into Gravlev, right? And then we have race number 4, where we're going to the STV on Cloud Chases and Orison, which I'm super excited about. Very, very excited to have that going as well, Croncy. But I mean, again, like I said, no more Cyclone races. But guys, in 2 weeks from now, we're going to bring the STV finally on Cloud Chasers. And let me tell you, we did this with Mules last time, Croncy. And now we have the STV. I tried this track, and it's scary fast. I love it. It's scary fast.
Yeah, it's very different to what it has been in the past with the PTVs and the STVs in some of the previous races. But it's good because the STV, the PTVs and the Mules is what I meant. The STVs are definitely bring an extra level of complexity to it, and will probably allow the teammates to get a little bit more overtaking. It's less about just not falling off the side, and we can actually have battles for turns. So it should definitely be more interesting in that sense.
100%. May 13th, guys, make sure you guys tune in for Cloud Chasers, where we're going to be riding on the STV. And then after that is something that we've been wanting to use for so long, Croncy. We wanted to use this track, the BTR course track, for the qualifiers. We weren't able to do that, but at least we're going to have an incredible heat race coming up. So for 2 weeks after that, I think it's May 27th, make sure you guys tune in because we finally are going to hit the PTV course track in the buggy track racing in the Vision Center in Orison, and we're going to see competitors, right? This is going to be a heat race, Croncy, so 4 competitors on the track. I can't wait for this one because, like, this track is already good, but the way you maneuver with PTV, whether you do it by yourself or with other people, oh, man, it's going to be a challenge, man. We're going to see a lot of slipping, sliding. We're going to see a lot of, PTVs turnover. So I'm excited to see this one. Well, what about yourself?
Yeah, definitely. It's probably the most aesthetically pleasing racetrack of all the ones that we've got. Unless we get the 319 Lawville for the last track, then that might change. So that in that essence, it's going to be a great watch. Also very excited to see what happens with, we've got these jumps, we've got these underground sections. There are quite some pretty tight turns. And, the PTVs are not indestructible. We're going to want to be careful. So, we're going to see probably the racers be a little bit more careful, trying to avoid as many collisions as possible, especially with other races. As we've seen in the past, it can be pretty rough in that sense. But definitely the most exciting one. We wanted this for the qualifiers, just wasn't there, unfortunately. It was just, 318 was a bit rough. 318 actually hadn't been released at the time, I believe. So hopefully we can get this one when 319 releases. Hopefully. Yep.
Well, let's see what happens. So, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, race 3 for the System 7 is going to be on the way soon. Just getting our races ready. But for right now, Croncy, let's go back to the leaderboard and go over who is racing for each team today, because we want to make sure we know who's racing. Teams are able to be, size from 1 to 4 people. So I want to make sure that everybody knows who's going to be racing today. And I just want to give a quick shout out because for the first time ever, we are streaming on 3 different platforms today. So shout out to everybody on Twitch, shout out to everybody on YouTube, and shout out to everybody on Kick as well. Welcome, guys. If you guys don't know what we're doing, this is the System 7. This is an F1 style racing league that takes place inside of Star Citizen. It's a game made by Robert Space Industries. And this is a battle. So even though the game's in alpha, we make these races happen and we make competition as high as possible. So very excited to be here. But Croncy, Punch Buggy, 43 points. We got Herbie racing today. So obviously that's no surprise. Herbie comes back and wants to keep that trajectory going forward and keep Punch Buggy on the top of the leaderboard. And then we got Team Splen, who landed with some points, came in 6th place last race, landing up some points with 4 points. That puts him right in the middle of the pack. Really, any big win from any first, second, and third place win can really bump him up to that top 5, in my opinion. So he definitely needs to bring it this round. But for Team Splen, we got Splen Shepherd racing for today. And Krause, go ahead and take out who's racing for Far Out as well.
Yeah, so of course, most people will be very familiar with probably the champion of Far Out, Diplomat. Absolutely huge name in the Star Citizen community. Obviously Diplomat's going to be racing for that one. Like I said, one of the races to watch out for because an absolute beast on the Gravlevs. Continuing on, we got Nomies, Team Nomies. Now, Gerbo's actually taking the back seat today. So we've got a new racer in it today, which is Quelsar. So I've seen Quelsar in the circles. Wow. I'm not sure how they're doing with their how their performance is, but I'm very excited to see if they can, bring in the abilities that they need for the Gravlev, and then just keep giving Gerby the ground vehicles, and it'll be fine. I'm sure he'll be working it out.
Yeah, I think, I like you said, Croncy, I'm surprised Quelsar is out. Probably, he's racing the Gravlev vehicles, so that's what he's here for. Leaving, Gerber the Gnome for the Gravlev, which is actually very, very cool to see. This is why you want to have a bigger team, because sometimes when you can't make it or when you're not a master at a certain vehicle, grab a teammate that probably knows that vehicle better. When the time comes, you guys will be able to switch out and create that ultimate team. And hopefully that helps you guys win, the System 7 championship. But moving on here, we got Amarox Fang. We got Big Flex TTV, who's ready to go as well. He's going to be driving for Amarox Fang, currently in 5th place with 14 points. We got, Infinite Empire. We got Aaron the God. They're right in the middle of the pack as well here with 3 points in 11th place. But I mean, I think that we've seen Aaron the God do a lot of great stuff. So, I mean, I wouldn't count them out. And then a big surprise, in my opinion, Crunchy. This is a big surprise for me. Blackhawks right now in third place with 24 points. And we got driver Ludox back in the saddle. Crunchy, how have you been feeling about Blackhawks? Because, like, they came out of nowhere. You know, this is they're brand new to the System 7. They're from Italy, and they have been put in some great races in these past 2 races. So,
yeah, we've seen Ludox be able to get consistent position 3s for first and second race. And interestingly, their favorite vehicle is actually the PTV, not the Cyclone RC, which speaks volumes about what we could see from them today with another different vehicle. We might just be looking at someone who just really is one of those all-rounders, like Diplomat, like Nezrathil that we've seen in the past, who have won the entire thing, right? So Ludox at the moment, if I was to go through everyone and get rid of my biases, I would say Ludox and Blackhawks are at the moment my favorite to win the whole thing.
Wow.
But there's a lot of race left. We'll see what they can do about the Nox, because it's a very interesting vehicle. Continuing on, we got Sire Alpha with NeoJet. NeoJet, an absolute beast in endurance racing. Yeah, see them all the time in the Daymar rallies and whatnot. This race, obviously not very much endurance-like, but very consistent in how they're able to finish. They managed to get a 12th place position last week and yeah, grab up those 3 points. And then after them, we have another single racer team, which I always feel for. I was a single racer team too. We have Tint from Frontier Consolidated Racing. Yeah.
No, I mean, Frontier Consolidated Racing, also a new, I believe they're, new returning team as well. And, you know, again, we only have had 2 races. This is race number 3. So I feel like anybody from that 10th place spot all the way down to the 16th place spot can really turn it around and still bring it back up. We still got 7 races. We still got, 5 races to go, but being race number 3 today. So please, I would be ready to go, man. But it seems like this year, a lot of people are practicing. A lot of people are trying to get into that door. But of course, we got Kuroda Racing, Sanji with Sanji Sama, trying to do what he can. He came in a pretty decent place last race. I believe it was, he came in, around 10, gaining him 2 points. So I feel like Sanji can unlock a potential and really, really put some massive points to the board. So, Sanji, good luck to you today on today's race. We got Team Leviathan. We got Muxter, who's racing today. I believe that's the first time I've seen that Muxter is racing today. Because they have a big team of 3, and they're currently right now standing in 8th place. Another, brand new team, Croncy, that is just coming and showing what they can do right in the middle. And again, any big win can put them up on that top 3 very, very quickly.
Yeah, Leviathan was the team with R. McNasty last week, and in the first week of the System 7, they're actually able to get a 6th place position. So definitely someone to look out for in this sort of this wave of new teams that we have coming in, because there's a lot of skill there. Next up, we've got Team Viva with Nezrathil, the returning champion from last year. I fully expect we're going to see Nezrathil in every single one of these races for the whole 7, assuming that he can make it. Managed to get first last year, so already absolute a beast of a racer. Now, last couple of weeks didn't do super amazing, but we have seen them really crush it when it comes to these Gravlev vehicles, so expecting big things here. Next up, we've got Checked Leak from Delta Diardis Racing. Once again, another race that we're probably going to see consistently over the course of the 7 races. They managed to pick up a 7th last year. A solid returning racer. They know what they're doing. They've had time to practice these tracks a couple of times as well, which is good.
Yeah, I think Delta Diardis had Wired In racing in the past few races, which got him a 4th place finish. Wired In did a great job during that Microtech Thunder Dash. So, nice to see Cheek Leak in the saddle here on the Aopoa Nox, because, man, the Nox is definitely one of my favorite Gravlev vehicles, in the division. So love to see that. Then we got Triple R Racing, Tech the Menace coming in hot. Catcom Alpha from Catalonia and their Masters Racing, then Ghost Corporation, Mayo Maca, Mekio. Hopefully I said that right, Croncy. But we're getting ready here pretty soon. But Croncy, let's talk a little bit about what every team is fighting for. Not only bragging rights, but we got some incredible prizes. These teams are fighting for the trophy, the System 7 Championship trophy, some in-game goodies, and some of our new System 7 merch, which I need to still grab because I forgot because I was at Con 42. But can we get the prizes up, please, on the screen as soon as we can so we can kind of show those off? But, you can't go wrong with having a Crusader or an Ursa. And, of course, whoever wins this year, we want to definitely see them at CitizenCon with that championship jacket. So even if you won in the past, I want to see you with that championship jacket. Don't bring the trophy, though. All right, leave it at home. All right, we don't want to get that stuff messed up in transit, okay? I know you want to brag, but the jacket is good enough. Croncy, the staff doesn't even get the jacket. So if you really, really win, then that jacket is going to be all you to bring it. We want to see those Demo Rally champions. We want to see those System 7 champions. We want to see those Fighter Flight champions wearing those cool jackets. And of course, second and third place getting some jerseys, some more in-game items. And guys, don't forget that we finally have launched our System 7 merch. If you guys want to help and support what Aopoa Esports is doing here, all these prizes, the trophies we pay for. Obviously, Star Citizen helps with the digital prizes, but the merch, the trophies, everything else that we're going to continue putting into the basket here for the winners are all coming from us. So if you guys want to help support, can we get the merch slide up there as soon as we can? But yeah, this year's theme, Croncy, has been topography. I feel like it's been pretty popular though. I think people have been liking it.
Yeah, it is probably my favorite merch that we've had over the last 3 years. Obviously, I've got a soft spot for the red and the white, but the topography looks absolutely fantastic. So keen to grab one of those myself and hopefully wear it to some CitizenCon and see a bunch of people in chat there as well and get a big photo of all of the Aopoa merch, basically.
We're just going to have a big, Aopoa Esports wall, and we can all just meet up there and bring their Aopoa Esports merch, and we can literally have an incredible photo. Definitely want to do a great video, something that Corsair, myself, the team has been dreaming of, to just get everybody together so we can just show this incredible community and see everybody, man. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, while the racers are getting ready, thank you guys so much for watching at home. Race number 3 should be on the way in a few minutes. But for right now, we will be right back here soon. Thank you guys for being patient with us. Race 3 of System 7 presented by Game Glass coming up next. We'll be right back. Peace.
Mayday, mayday, this is Red Wind, FR 9183, requesting immediate support. I'm under fire from an unknown number of hostiles. Sending my location now.
HQ Strike Team. Contract assigned.
HQ, Strike Team, roger. Proceeding to target. Red Wind, Foxtrot, Romeo, 90183, Walker Strike Team, on site for assistance. HQ, Strike Team, contract fulfilled, ready for tasking.
Aopoa Esports operates a little differently. Born from emergent community events like the Demo Rally, the natural progression was to create esports events within an emergent environment. and provide tournaments for esports teams in a unique way.
All right, here we go.
Every step you can count on me, every step you can follow.
Whoa! Oh, baby, let's get this race started, guys. Let's go.
Atmo volunteers create events within massive sandbox gaming environments, and we work with talented community gamers to supply supporting roles such as camera crew, shoutcasters, event organizers, and so much more. Our team is a group of passionate professionals from all over the world, all with gaming in their veins. We operate purely online, and everything we do is created collaboratively.
It's gonna change the way we play the game.
Ready.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Your eyes are the gateway to your brain. It's time to start getting serious about protecting them. Reinforcements have arrived. Introducing Gamer Advantage, a gaming wellness company rooted in science. Patented, clinically proven, and trusted by thousands of people. Our glasses are designed to fit comfortably under a headset, look amazing, and offer protection indoors and out. Our lens will help you sleep better, which means feel better and perform better. There's no color distortion, and they are available in prescription. Internal protection starts with eye candy, an eye health, immune boost, and antioxidant formula. Fog Away, the #1 selling anti-fog spray for eyewear. Gamer Advantage. Gaming wellness reimagined.
Head tracking adds so much to immersion in supported first-person games. When you try it, you're going to see why it makes so much sense. It's been created to seamlessly let you look where you want to, and with Tobii Eye Tracker 5, everything just works. Tobii has been the go-to name for head and eye tracking, and over time, their product has evolved. Their newest implementation has the most simplified setup because they did all the work for you. Offering both head and eye tracking, Tobii is able to track precisely through glasses or contacts, and once calibrated, it will never lose its center. the head tracking solution that integrates at the bottom of a flat or curved monitor. Look at what you want to target sooner. Look at what you want to lock your missile to. Look at where you want to bomb. Look in the direction that your ship is traveling to get the edge. Look around and get the advantage. Just look and let Tobii Eye Tracker 5 do the rest in Star Citizen and a host of other simulation titles. It's so natural that you forget it's there.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, now we are back here. We almost ready to go, but man, I love seeing all the new faces. Like I said earlier, we're streaming to 3 different platforms, so I love guys. Again, you guys will be able to catch us on 3 different places, so you guys can watch Aopoa Esports pretty much almost anywhere. So we're gonna try to figure out to get Twitter, everything. We're gonna try to get connected everywhere here up soon. So for all of you people that are home watching, unfortunately I don't look at chat while we're casting, but welcome. I hope you guys are enjoying today's broadcast. And yeah, look, right here, Crossy, we got the grid getting ready. Racers are almost ready to go. We see those beautiful Noxes. Like always, I'm anxious, but we got something a little bit special today, Crossy, that I want to talk about. So if we have the overview camera ready, let's jump over to the overview camera. So we have, Planet there, shout out to Planet there. Well, one of our camera crew decided, hey, why don't we, set it up to where we have, the track outline on the actual race in the overview camera. So it looks absolutely phenomenal. So that way you guys will be able to see the markers, you guys will be able to see the checkpoints, and you guys will be able to see the racers going around the track live. So, shout out to Planet here. I love it. He said he had a little design trackpad, so he put something together for us, so that way when we look at the overview camera, you guys will be able to see the track live while they're racing. And by the way, Croncy, he's in game.
Yeah. No. It's a really awesome view, and honestly, I mean, it makes my easier than job. It makes my job easier as a commentator as well, being able to sort of see where we've got some fights going on and where we've got people lapping. So it's going to be very, very useful. And so definitely we're going to be coming to this camera a bunch of times, guys, so make sure you look out for it if you do want to know where your favorite racer is positioned.
Yeah, let's talk about the course one more time, because I mean, you see where all the markers are at on that top right of the screen. But look, they have an indicator. They got Dexter there, who's going to be our checkpoint number 1. Shout out to Dexter. And then we got Red Rum Baron, who's our next checkpoint. So that's where you take that left up those tanks, and then that's how you begin your ascent. Yes, I said ascent into the city of New Babbage. Into that how do you say it? Into the city, into where you usually wake up when you first log into the game. Yep. So, and then you got more checkpoints throughout the entire track, and then they come out and then they descent around towards the that top part on the end, and then right back into the ice. So Croncy, like I said, this race has a lot of ice, about 60% of it, but the real challenge is going to be when they get into the city. They need to make sure that they're going a lot slower. I know on the ice they're probably going 150, 200 ms, depending on the height of their Nox. But I mean, going into the city is where you keep saying, Croncy, we're going to see explosions, but I feel like, like how you race in the past, slow and steady, hopefully wins the race for some of these racers.
Yeah, it's definitely a race at least where you don't have to go slow the entire time. If you want to play it safe, yes, you still do get a chance to go as fast as you want while you're on the lake. And I think we will see from a majority of the races, once they do get into that city section, they're going to bring the throttle down a bit. But we've got some wild people in the System 7 who, don't like the word slow. So we'll see.
I know, right?
Obviously, it could be a massive advantage. If they're going through the entire city section at like 100, 150 ms, then they're going to be leagues ahead of the competition. They're going to be minutes ahead of the competition. So we're going to see 5 laps of this race today. One thing I want to say as well is just how many awesome views we can get from this track, right? There are so many awesome camera angles and like places to sit and observe the race that really gets me interested. Anytime there's a race here, it's always awesome.
No, I totally agree with you. That's one of the reasons why we put this race during CitizenCon, right? It was because of how it looked, and when we did a couple laps, when I saw, Zul and Corsair making the track together here, like just going through like the entire vibe of it was just going through the city, how beautiful it looked, and I love to see that. Hopefully, maybe when the new Lorville comes out, we get instead of doing a track where you're switching between gates, maybe we get an actual, a legit race around it, because I would love to see who can hold their own in the Lorville loop with just one vehicle. So maybe we bring a new championship race in the future and we just make Lorville loop a regular race. But there's so much that we can do, man. There's going to be so much tracks in the future that we can always put in our back pocket. With Pyro coming out, this is why it's called a System 7. We definitely want to go to Pyro. There's so many different moons and planets, and we're going to be able to do the same, Croncy. Jump in there, take a, scout, make some tracks and have a good time. And I'm just going to put it out there, Croncy. If you guys at home watching want to help create some tracks, hey, jump into our Discord, discord.gg/Atmo Esports. Come in, man. Help us make some tracks. We're happy. We're happy to listen. We love working with the community. So, always love hearing, the feedback from everybody. But looking forward to this track.
Yeah, it looks like we've almost got everyone lined up too. There we are, right there with all of those Noxes in the grid formation. Now, one thing that these racers will be aware of that they've got to be careful of is desync can be a bit rough in Star Citizen at the moment. So we might see when we first initially start the race, racers might be just a little bit slow just to make sure they're not ramming into anyone else, because you don't want to be that guy. Trust me, I may have been that guy in a previous one. But yeah, it's I mean, look at it. It's so cool to see these grav levels lined up.
Yeah, and as always, I got to give our shout out to our camera team for always being on point. So shout out to everybody who's here today. We got Sevens, we got Papa Freedom, we got Foxy, we got Officer Rondog, we got Tara Planeteer doing a great job at, showing up an incredible overview camera. And then we got, Esper, who's been killing it with the highlight videos. So shout out to him. He's also in the server taking some footage for our next highlight video. So stay tuned for that one, guys. Again, we've been active everywhere as much as we can, making these highlight videos. So very, very excited for that stuff. So, but Croncy, I believe we have a few more minutes. I believe the racers are going to get a 1-minute warning here soon. And then once we get that, I'm going to get the countdown going. And we're going to see a Babbage Bash with the Aopoa Nox, and I'm very excited, man. I want to see, again, I don't know who's going to win. There's so many great competitors. It's so hard to kind of leverage who's going to come out on top, but I feel I think even if somebody goes up 2 laps, it's not going to feel like they're going to be winning. All I'm going to say is that if somebody is taking a big lead, Croncy, I would just slow down and pace myself, because again, these Noxes are pretty fragile here for this race today.
Yeah, this is not like last week's race at all, where, if you were in the lead, you were pretty comfortable with that lead, right? And there was some fighting in the middle, but it was a lot easier to stay ahead. You could explode at any moment if you take a wrong turn or you go a little bit too fast off a jump, whatever it might be, if you're not being careful in some areas. Or, in some of these turns out on the ice, if you're going too fast, if you're going 200 ms, you're going to slide. You are going to slide, so you're not going to be able.
Yes.
You might lose a position to someone who's behind you going a little bit slower, right? So it's going to be very interesting in that sense. One of the things that we should expect today, that I've heard from Herbie. So if we do have these races, like I kind of do expect, Diplomat and Ezra Hill maybe to sort of full throttle it almost the entire time. We're probably going to see laps at about 6 to 7 minutes or so. So we're probably looking at, the absolute fastest today, assuming there's no explosions, probably going to see about, 35 minutes, something around there. Whereas the races that do take it a lot... Yeah, go ahead.
No, go. The racers that do go again.
The races that do take it a little bit slower, we're in the city section, we'll probably expect them to be around the 11 or 12 minute mark. So as we go through those,
big gap,
watch on those. Yeah, it is. It's because the city section is deceptively large, and if you're going a lot slower, then it's going to use up a lot of time. So yeah.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I think from a faster lap from 6 to 7 minutes to now If you're going a little bit slower, it's 12 minutes. Remember, we got 12. I'm sorry, not 12. We got 5 laps here. So a 12-minute lap is going to easily make this a 1-hour race in a Nox. So, it's very, very dangerous. I'm not going to say speed up, but I'm going to say pace yourself, slow down, let everybody shoot off at the beginning of the race, Croncy, because, in the Nox, it's not going to be like a Cyclone RC. If you guys bump into each other, everything's going to be okay. But yeah, I would suggest just, hey, hang back, slow down. But I'm seriously very, very excited. I don't know. I'm excited for every race, man. I just want to see,
it's fun.
I get so anxious for the results, man. It's so great. Oh, look at those.
Yeah.
We got some skins, Krusty. Look at that. We got some skins there, man. What's up? We got some skins.
We got some pay to wins out here.
Hey, don't say that, bro. People in the chat are gonna believe it, man. But they're gonna believe it. Hey, we got some skins out there. You know what? If somebody that wins today doesn't have a skin, I got one in my hanger for you. Send me a DM. I got you some skins. We got a lot of red ones. We got a lot of plain ones. But yeah, so if you win today and you don't got some vehicle skins, all right, send me a DM. I got you. All right, I gotta pimp up these guys' rides because man, they some of them look and play. It's funny because I don't even see one purple one out there, man. What's going on?
It's possible. There's some that look a little bit weird. It's possible the purple one might have like some frost deformation on it because I know that does happen with some vehicles. So I'm not 100% sure. We'd need to get like a real in-depth look. But we do have a couple of the red and white skins, which is by far my favorite for those vehicles. And they just look really sleek. They feel very race, right? You know what I mean? They feel like they're actually part of a racing league. So there you go. There's a nice shot there. So yeah, there you can see, it looks like we have maybe some desync damage on some of those, which don't worry, most of the time desync damage doesn't mean actual damage, it's just a visual bug, so they'll be okay for that. But already you can see, we were talking about, the height off the ground that some of these races will be going at.
Yes.
And the higher that you are, the slower you're going. And you can already see the differences between a couple of these races and where they're going to be starting, some of them much higher, some of them much lower.
It's all about strategy and what they got to bring to the table today, guys. Here in a few more seconds, we have race number 3 of System 7, Babbage Bash starting, presented by Game Glass. I'm very excited for this one. Hey, where are you turning, my guy? But I'm looking forward to this one, guys. Before we jump into the countdown, if we could put the leaderboard up, guys, you guys will be able to track placements and everything with the leaderboard right above us. You guys will be able to see it if we can pop it up on the screen. Here is the leaderboard. You guys will be able to see. You guys will be able to track placements. You guys will be able to track times, in what laps, in what difference. After lap number 1, you guys will be able to see how far the next racer is from the other. So make sure you guys stay tuned. And big shout out to SCR.GG for making these incredible tools here for the System 7. So very excited. So I think countdown's coming up, Croncy. Any more words before we jump into the countdown?
Yeah, the Gravlev races are always the most dangerous races in the entire System 7. But we have some really, really skilled racers here. They are the most competition we've had in the last 3 years. So expect explosions, but also expect some absolutely insane plays from these players.
Don't jinx it. No explosions. We want everybody to get to the end, man. We want everybody to get to the end. That's what we want, all right? That's what we want, Croncy, okay? We want everybody to finish, everybody get to the end. I know because it's a gravel vehicle, that doesn't mean it's going to explode. Fingers crossed. Everybody can, have a great race and a great finish overall, Croncy.
Look, it's the opposite of the commentator's curse. If I say they're going to crash, they won't. That's how it works.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. Anyways, let's get this countdown rolling. All right, you guys ready for the countdown? All right. On go. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! All right, it's going to be a little bit of delay, but here they go, ladies and gentlemen, right on clock, right on cue. Why did I say right on clock, Croncy? But anyways, the race is on the way. Babbage Bash. Les U's going to take it away. Come on, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Sorry. Go, Croncy.
Yeah, as we expected, we would see a couple of races absolutely floor it on the lake position. That's exactly what happened. We can see a bunch of people up the front right here. And also, I am just very excited that we had a flawless launch of this race already. This is awesome. So we're absolutely speeding through here through this first turn. A couple of rocks for you to avoid, but pretty easy. When we participated in it last year, they're massive rocks, so very easy to get past. But you can already see, like I was mentioning, if you go too fast around these corners, you're going to skid out.
Yep,
Someone's going to
slide.
get past you. Yeah, it's
Man, I love seeing these. I love seeing these go, Croncy. These guys are flying down the ice as quickly as they can, try to get into the city of New Babbage to start their ascent into the middle section where they need to really slow down. But for right now, we're gonna get some updated placements here pretty soon on the leaderboard, so stay tuned for that as the party markers start to get a little bit separated. But Croncy, man, they dashed through that first checkpoint very quickly.
Yeah, it seems like we already had from the get-go a sort of collection of maybe 3 groups that we're seeing. And there we go. Once again, we had a racer come into that just a little bit too wide. Didn't end up going that great for them, unfortunately. So we can see Neojet up there. I do believe that I saw Ludox towards the front there. So it's possible we're going to lose some of the positions of players towards that bottom left corner. But yeah, you can see we've got Herbie and Dexter all the way at the back. Herbie did say that we're going to take it really... Oh, sorry, Dexter is the checkpoint. Herbie was going to take it very, very slow today and just try to survive. And there we go. We've already got our first incident. Unfortunately, Aaron has presumably collided with a wall or the ground. And that's going to be Aaron the God out of the competition today.
That is tough there for Aaron the God, man. You got to take it easy, man. That's going to be a tough one for Infinite Empire, Croncy, because, they're right in the middle of the pack, and every amount of points that you get is going to count there. So, big unfortunately there. We'll get some updates here from the officials to see what happens, but we are still getting these racers to zoom. There goes the big drop there. They need to be able to be careful, right? Raise their Nox as high as they can, maintain that speed at 50 ms, and just glide through the city. Don't go too fast because you still have 4 more laps to go here. It's very important that you be careful because, if you blow up in lap number 3, all of that extra effort, Croncy, that you have been putting towards this entire race here at Babbage Bash is going to be, unfortunately, getting you 0 points. But for right now, we got Amarok's Fangs in first place. We got Blackhawks in second. Team Splen in third. And Skyer Alpha right behind him, fighting for that lead, Croncy.
Yeah, I'm really surprised at how close everyone was flying together right at the beginning of the race. We have another DNF from Tack the Menace as our cameraman also possibly having a crash there as well. I believe Papa Freedom is actually following our first 2 positions here from Amarok's Fang and Blackhawks, and look how close these guys are, and look how fast they are going through the city section. This is very, very risky. Another DNF, this time from Nezrathil, one of the races that we were looking at for this race to absolutely crush it. But unfortunately, that's that's the way this race can be sometimes, the way these vehicles can be sometimes.
Yeah, we have Ludox taking a big far left here, trying. That's just to me like a weird tactic to take a left around those drums, and then. But here we go. This is gonna be the first lap. They're almost right back into the ice. And again, we got Nomi so far. Team Nomi's Qualistar also exploding. Unfortunately, Team Viva Nezratil as well. Team Triple R Racing all out of the race. So that puts us with only 12 competitors left. Croncy, you call explosions. We're getting explosions right now. We're not seeing them, but it's happening.
Yeah, it definitely seems towards the middle and the back of the pack. Also, we've been hearing from some people that some of them have happened, right at the beginning of the race. Diplomat, another DNF from far out. Champion from 2 years ago. Sanji Summer, also with a DNF. They are dropping like flies, unfortunately. But we are at the moment watching Ludox, who we do believe to be currently in first place position, absolutely fly through the section.
Yeah, it's very tough here, man, to see all these top-notch racers just kind of going out. And I practiced this one myself, and sometimes it's kind of hard to going through the city. And I feel like maybe some of the patches brought a little bit more trees than normal. But look at this shot here from Papa Freedom, getting that Nox, just speeding through the ice and being able to get on that lap number 1. But we're just trying to get some reports to see what is going on and why are these vehicles blowing up. Is it a bug? Is it just them, smacking into and taking too much damage? But very good speed here from Ludox, Blackhawks, and right there, Amarok's Fang right behind them, Croncy.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these collisions happened in that first turn, because if you desync a little bit too much, or you're going a bit too fast, or even over these very, very small obstacles here, which most of the time you can ignore. Sometimes they can end up spinning you out, blowing you up, clipping on you, that sort of thing. So you really have to be extraordinarily careful. And we're going to see Punch Buggy, Herbie from Punch Buggy, probably the entirety of the race go that route. But Blackhawk's already on lap number 2, as is Amarok's Fang, and we're back in this corner. It is really cool to see these guys take this at 200 ms. And there we go. I did just see the corpse of a Nox on that turn. So at least one racer did unfortunately perish in that first turn.
Yeah, that is big toughness right there. You got Ludox, we got Big Flex, TTV here from Amarok's Fang, who's coming right behind them. And again, Ludox, man, all I'm going to say is just keep a great pace that you did in the first lap so you can be able to get through these next 5 races. You see, a lot of other, Splen is way behind as well. We still have some other competitors trying to get through the city. Croncy, this is one of those races that if you did not practice, it will absolutely punish you. And I don't want to say that, a lot of these other incredible racers got let go from a bug, but I'm telling you right now, man, it is very extremely tough to see these guys go out. But all I'm going to say is that this track is punishing right now. It's taking no mercy.
It is definitely, and it is also it's been an issue. Some players have had issues trying to practice this race, just unfortunately the way that the game is at the moment. But we are still getting to see some absolutely fantastic racing. We're watching Splen right now, currently in 3rd place position, absolutely speed through those turns once again, and it seems as though we still have 10 races in the way. So it is by no means the most explodiest we've had for a System 7 in the past. So I'm hoping we can have no more explosions and we can see some really awesome finishes. I want to see what we can see from Herbie. I want to see what we can see from Sire Alpha. There's a lot of skills still left in the arena.
No, 100%. And let's take a look at how far Ludox is from Amarok's Fang right now. Blackhawks with a massive 5.37 second lead ahead. He just needs to be able to maintain that speed and be careful. Again, the challenge is going through the city once again of New Babbage. It's not easy, Croncy. Like I said, I tried this myself, and I was going super slow. I was going like a baby the entire time. Unfortunately, Ghost Corporation now also going out as well. And then let's kind of see, because we see, Amarok's Fang and Splen here, and see how far are they from each other, because, I feel like Splen was going a little bit slower, but look, it's about 46 seconds, behind Amarok's Fang. So you see those top 2 teams are trying to get, ahead. So Splen taking it easy as well. If Splen can get a top 3 spot here, Croncy, that's going to put him in a good spot going into race number 4.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, once again, commentator's curse goes in. I say, hopefully we'll see no more explosions, but unfortunately, we had Tint from Frontier Consolidated Racing, and we also had Neojet from Sire Alpha. They have DNF'd, unfortunately, on their second lap. So, bit unfortunate. And another one, as I'm talking, I should just stop talking, Crucian. I think if I just don't say anything, no one will explode. I think that's how it's going to work.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out like what's going on, but a lot of teams right now are just exploding. Is it the ice? Is it the transition? We saw probably some people hit some trees on the way here, but for right now we only have 6 competitors left. We got Blackhawks, Amarok's Fang, Team Splen, Delta Dietis, Leviathan, and like you said, Herbie's gonna take it slow, right? 50 ms all the way home. That's probably gonna get him some points if they end up getting towards the end.
Yeah, I think this is one of those things where, last year when we had the river race, we saw sort of a similar thing, but I had actually gotten the idea from Herbie, from Team Punch Buggy, to just take it slow. Just take it slow, just try to survive, right? And I think this is now, they unfortunately exploded at the beginning of the race last year. I think this is their revenge time to try to hopefully do the exact same thing, try to just take it slow, just finish the race, right?
By the way, I totally agree with you, Crounchy. Something that I didn't mention either, right? If you were on the Nox, right, it was suggested that you take off your weapons, because if you're down lowest to the ground, right, if you're down lowest to the ground, what happens is that those little rocks that are actually on the ice, Crounchy, can actually take you out, actually provide damage to the Nox, and you're tumbling at that point and pretty much exploding. So very, very tough to see a lot of these great competitors out for the count. But like I said, I mean, this could be a race where it's just for show, all fun, and nobody finishes at this point. But a lot of points are currently being missed. Like I said, I would have taken it slow as well, Crunchy. I think Herbie has the right mindset. He's just practicing, playing towards what the game has to offer, and hopefully he can end up, putting some points on the board and strengthening his first place spot.
Yeah, and we've just seen actually there, Ludox, our current leader, has lapped Punch Buggy now. So Herbie is about to come through for their first lap completion. But we have seen Ludox, who has just been absolutely sending it today, has been able to lap. And we're seeing a couple more people. Big Flex TTV from Amarox Fang has also now lapped Herbie. And we're going to see that happen probably a couple more times. We can see Splen a fair bit distance further back than Big Flex, and not many races left on the racetrack, but we've got a lot of fast ones. I'm kind of surprised. If I was in their situation and I heard, there's only 6 races left, I'm pulling back the throttle 100%. But no, these guys, they want to go fast.
Yeah, they want to go fast, man. Blackhawks really wanted to put that, pedal to the metal, as I keep saying, almost for every race, but they're taking no mercy. Amarox Fang right behind them. And look at these laps here, man. Ludox's fastest lap right now, Crunchy, is 5 minutes and 44 seconds, right? And then you have Amarox Fang, Big Flex TTV. Seems like he is just mastering the gravel vehicle right now with a fastest lap of 5 minutes and 55 seconds. Everybody else, Crunchy, is about 50 seconds behind, and these guys are blazing fast through this track. Incredible.
Yeah, and we have some unfortunate news. It looks like Team Splen has exploded. I believe they were still in the city section when that occurred. So Splen is out of it at the moment as 6th place position. Now, I do believe that the way that we calculate the points for races like this is you have to complete 90% of the entire race in order to qualify for some points. So it's going to be a little bit heartbreaking for a lot of these races. But we should see some completions with the rest of these races, especially, I think, Punch Buggy and Leviathan appear to be doing a similar thing, I would say. I think they've definitely eased off the throttle.
Yeah, it seems like maybe too much things are currently happening within game, within, the rocks, these things, but it's okay. We're going to keep running it as much as we can here, but it's just super, super unfortunate, man. A lot of the teams are currently out, Crunchy. But yes, we do follow F1 style or the F1 rules as much as we can, as much as we can interpret it over to, StarCitizen. That's what we're trying to do.
Oh,
so,
wow.
yeah, 90% of the race right now, it's tough. Right now, we're looking at Herbie with the white and blue Nox skin. So, very, very awesome to see him going. Like Crunchy says, pay to win.
Yeah, we're looking at Herbie right now. I love Herbie's enthusiasm for racing and everything they've been doing with it, especially even a race like this where they know that it's going to be a very rough race, but they take every precaution they can to ensure that as many issues that could happen don't happen. Now, there's a lot of issues you can't deal with. It's just going to happen sometimes. Either way, a lot of our races still put in a lot of work, and they definitely need to be commended for that.
Honestly, I'm just baffled by how fast both Blackhawks and Amarox Fang. I'm not going to say they're not getting lucky, because I know a lot of these guys have been wanting have been wanting to win, have been practicing. And I definitely don't want to take away anything from these teams, but man, Kronsty, to see them fly that quickly through the city of New Babbage, going as fast as they are, and just, oh man, he almost clipped into that other Nox. But I mean, there's just so much different, elements that you need to be aware of in the Nox in order to have a good race. And just look, this is the strategy that he came up with to stay up there in order to, maybe he's trying to dodge all these poles, maybe to have a better line. I don't know why he's going up there, but hey, that's the strategy that he brought in, and that keeps putting him in that first place spot, Kronsty.
I will say the speed that they're going makes me incredibly anxious. Every time they do like a small landing after a hill, I'm like, that's an explosion. But they managed to pick it up. They've definitely planned a lot of their small jumps. They've definitely planned a lot of their speed. And then, they've been able to avoid as many issues as possible. So there we can see Ludox up there in the top left, just with Officer Ron Dog getting us those awesome views.
Yeah, very, very good. Again, shout out to Flanateer and the entire camera crew for giving us some incredible overviews. Here's the overview camera with that track outline that you guys are watching from home. And again, thank you guys all for joining us and being here to watch race number 3 of the System 7 here at Babbage Bash. So Ludox already is going to be in his 4th lap already, and it's already been 16 minutes, Kronsty. So this guy is really flying through. I'm hoping that his Nox is not taking enough damage so he can actually finish it all out. Again, I'm not trying to jinx anybody, but man, these guys are really racing through the city, no problem.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see first 2 positions finish quite quickly as we wait for most likely Muckstar and Herbie to get through their laps. But I mean, I'm still just astounded how fast they're going through it. It does seem like they have let up on the throttle a little bit, but not much. We are about to see another lapping, this time of Muckstar from Blackhawks. So they are well and truly ahead of them at the moment. So for them, for Blackhawks and Amarok's Fang, the race is almost over. They just need to, take it a little bit safe and just secure your position. This would be a very, very big win for Blackhawks.
Yes, that would put him in a great spot leading into, these upcoming races, in the System 7. But, Kronsty, I'm going to say right now, man, that I'm just very, very surprised of how much teams have went out. I wasn't expecting this much teams to go out, to be frank with you. But I know that, from what we're being told by the officials, there's just a lot of just different aspects of why people are going down. But I feel like people, once they get on the track, they don't expect all of those trees. They don't expect to hit a pole. They don't expect to, these little rocks that are down in the ice to kind of take them out of that point, right? So all you got to do is just finish 90% of the race, and you land those points. I would say everybody should have, other than being on ice, once they got there, just completely slowed down to 50 ms, brought their Nox all the way up, and just take it easy, man. Because, I know everybody wants to win, but they also have to play the game the way it's currently at in the state that it's in. And they have to really, figure it out, and by figuring out, they need to play the game a lot in order to be able to compete in this type of scenario.
Yeah, look, I will say that this from hearing from races, this definitely wasn't a race that the participants were particularly excited for. They knew that the track had some issues. They know that 318 is a bit rough, and so things can get a bit exacerbated. But I definitely saw them put in a bunch of work, put in a bunch of practice. There's just some things are going to happen on race day that aren't going to happen on other days, especially when you have 16 people actually racing through all at once, and it's kind of hard to get that kind of practice in, unfortunately. So 100%. It's just a bit unfortunate, but it's a midway race. We've got 3 races after this, and we're seeing some amazing work from the players that are left in the race at the moment.
Yep, very, very good call out there, Kronsty. And right here we got a lot of these teams that are still going. We got 4 top teams, and even though if Herbie comes out towards the end here, Kronsty, he's still going to be able to put a decent amount of, total of 8 points on top of his already 43, putting him around 51. But, I'm going to keep saying this again, that, the Cyclone races are over. We got the STV coming up, Cloud Chasers. I feel like Cloud Chasers, anything could happen there. I feel like, with Cloud Chasers, because you're in a more closed environment and it's a heat race, that can really go out to anything else. So for the next month, we're going to have heat races coming up here for the Buggy Racetrack and also on the Cloud Chasers. So definitely stay tuned for those two races as we're going back to our four wheels on the ground. So I'm pretty sure the racers are going to be excited for those.
Yeah, 100%. One of the other aspects of those kind of races is when you only have 4 people on the track at a time rather than 16, there's a little bit more give from the servers. There's a little bit less desync. There's a little bit less worrying about collisions for the most part, and so you can be a bit more aggressive. So it's definitely going to be a couple of races that are definitely going to be fun to participate in. I'm hoping the PTV racetrack can help us out a little bit, and we can see a little bit of fixes there. But the STV racetrack, I think, is going to be probably one of the best races we see this whole series.
Yeah, one thing I will say here as well, Croncy, is that right now, Ludox, all I'm going to say is that even though he's lapping other people, he still needs to keep a certain pace up, because he has Amarok's Fang right on his tail, and that right there can lead from a big difference of nailing 25 points or only getting 18 at that point. So, it's very, very careful that he needs to also still be on his tippy toes in order to get that going. I feel like Team Leviathan and Team Punch Buggy, I don't think they really care where they come in right now, because they'll still be able to put some points on the board at the moment. But right now, Ludox, lapping Punch Buggy again. For Team Blackhawks, man, this guy is ripping this track in half and just speeding where it counts.
Yeah. Incredibly impressed with the amount of speed that they've been able to hold the entire race. They're starting to approach the end of lap 4, and it's only 22 minutes in. That is very, very fast. If you remember what I said, we'll probably expect from the faster races like a 6 to 7 minute lap. Whereas Blackhawk's been getting 5 to 6 minutes every lap, right? So absolutely blasting through. There is something to be said about sometimes you can avoid deaths by going really fast if you take the perfect route, you know what I mean? Sometimes you can sort of trick the server into thinking that you haven't collided with something when you have. It's something we've all done, I'm sure, when we've accidentally rammed into a space station here or there. But really, it's just absolutely skillful racing here. I'd love to see, and I'll probably ask Herbie, after the race, what kind of speeds Herbie ended up doing throughout the course of this race. And it looks like that was another lapping just there, probably past Team Punch Buggy, probably past Herbie. I'm not 100%. It was a bit hard to tell, but I definitely saw a Nox there just next to him.
Yep. Well, I'm going to find out here if we can get Ludox from Blackhawks after this race. I really want to get an interview here once this is all completed, Croncy, because I really want to know what his strategy was coming in. Going this fast as he's going, trying to get it. Is he getting lucky is why he's not exploding? But, man, the skill here with the Nox and the Gravlev, man, I'm going to say I'm very impressed here, Croncy. Weaving through all these glaciers, but I really want to get a chat with him after the race today to see what it was his strategy going in, why he's taking these unorthodox lines and just, being that big of a gap. Because right now, from Amarok's Fang, he is about, I'm going to say, a good 50 seconds away, 60 seconds away, from their competitor right behind. That's an entire minute, Croncy. That's fast.
Yep. Yeah, it's incredibly fast. Not to mention, we're actually going to see Blackhawks very soon. He's going to pass the 90% mark, so they're going to lock themselves in for a position of some type very soon. And based on the racing that we're seeing, I'm expecting that position to be first at this stage. But Amarok's Fang also looking to get up in that second place position, about to finish lap at number 4. And then Leviathan and Punch Buggy, I think they're about half a lap behind each other on their third lap at the moment.
Yeah, that's so tough, man. Again, I do feel for the rest of the competitors. And again, I know that a lot of them, put in a lot of time. They do a lot of 3D modeling or, 3D, the entire race course and figuring out what's the best place to, to go through, what's the best place to race through. You know, a lot of these racers putting so much work, and that's why we call them the best 16 racers in Star Citizen. But you know, this is the challenge of System 7, Croncy. Not only do you have to be a master of all the different vehicles, you need to be able to, you know, transcend and become the best of all these different tracks as well. And tracks, even though we bring back a couple every year, they change every single year. And that's why this, you know, that's why I love this event so much, because you never get the same. You never get the same thing for, you know, every year. It's always different. You're going to get a taste of all kinds of tracks. And I'm going to say that hopefully next year, if it happens, we'll be seeing some, you know, some race action with some lava in Pyro.
Yeah, that'd be awesome to see. You know, these Gravlev races are consistently the hardest races of the System 7. And as I mentioned before the race began, they are also, at least I feel, the hardest to master as well. So all that considered, also like the amount that you can get punished on these vehicles for just like the slightest of wrong turns sometimes can be absolutely brutal. And we've obviously seen some of that today. We've obviously seen some other issues, but we've also seen some two of our racers absolutely crush it with some absolutely insane speeds through the entire city section, and two races with some very tactical minds going through it as slow as they can, and also trying to avoid as many people as they can. I mean, we saw right at the start of the race when we had the overhead cam just how far behind Herbie was. You know, Herbie did tell me that he was going to go 50 meters a second. I wouldn't be surprised if actually he was going 30 meters a second at the beginning of the race, right? It was incredibly careful, probably more careful than he needed to be, but it's definitely worked out for him.
Hey, Croncy, what race did you go slow and you still got about top 5? What race was that one? That's I think you're rubbing off on Herbie way too much, because he's like, you know what? I'm gonna pull a Croncy and I'm gonna still get for 4th place and put some points to the board, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, look, like I said, I got that idea from Herbie. I literally got that idea from Herbie last year. He said that's what he's doing. I said, you know what? I'm 100% down as well. Unfortunately, Herbie died to like desync at the beginning of the race with an explosion, because the river was a bit rough at the time. But I took that advice and I got 4th place position. So yeah, do we call this the Herbie? I think we're going to call this the Herbie.
We're going to call it the Herbie. I mean, we could call it the Herbie. I don't see, you know, I don't think I see an issue with calling it the Herbie at this point. But hey, man, you know, I slow and steady wins the race sometimes. And, you know, this is what he chose, which I'm super excited and happy about. So, but let's see, man. We got Blackhawks. I definitely want to see that finish line once we see Blackhawks finish this race. And again, Croncy, we're going to try to get an interview here to see how he prepared, man, because I think Blackhawks, man, they're, again, from Italy. They came to race. And they're currently in the standings, Croncy, as we speak. Blackhawks is in that 3rd place spot with 24 points. So if they nail this and they win, that is going to put them easily up there to 49 points. And it will give them that big boost that they need to get to that 2nd place spot. If, you know, once Punch Buggy gets at 90% of the race completed. So very, very awesome to see Blackhawks really bringing it in today's Gravlev race. I've never seen, I don't know, man. It's just, the guy's different. That's all I'm going to say. The guy's different.
Yeah. And here we are seeing, I believe, Ludox right now. They just passed Muckster again from Leviathan. Oh,
no! No! You saw the clip! What is that? What happened? What? No!
No! Oh,
no, he had tasted victory! No, what happened? He clipped the rock, Croncy.
It did look like, from our perspective, that they were trying to go over one of these little rocks here. I think I saw it, but yeah, they clipped it, or you know, they were a little bit too low. I'm not sure what happened, but that is absolutely brutal. Now, they did get 90% of the race completed, so they will be positioned 1 through 4, depending on what happens with these other races. But obviously, from Amarok's Fang, this is a huge deal. Amarok's Fang is also on their final lap.
God.
If they can complete this, they're going to get 1st place.
Dude, to be careless right there towards the end, seeing Ludox explode right in our faces. The determination he had throughout all 5 laps, Crunchy, has just been thrown right out of the window into a fire. That is incredibly unfortunate to see. But man, that really put me in my own swirl over here, Crunchy, because I really wanted to see him finish that. And now Amarok's Fang has the ability to take that first place spot away from Blackhawks. Wow. Holy shit.
Yeah, absolutely brutal. But, you know, good news for Amarok's Leviathan and Punch Buggy. They've got a little bit of an easier job now. Markstar just crossing for into their 4th lap now. So it's going to take a little bit of time for Leviathan and Punch Buggy to finish. We probably don't have too long until Amarok's Fang finishes. I can't quite see them on the overhead there, but I wouldn't imagine they're too far out, probably somewhere towards the top left with a Gloomy Gun. Yeah. Oh, that's so brutal. That's just, oh, it hurts.
Wow, man. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, my heart went straight down to my stomach because I know that, you know, Krause, in your mind, you're like, you know, I got this. I'm gonna take this race today, and all of a sudden, that rock takes your dreams away and just crushes them at that point, man. So let's see what's gonna happen here. Amarok's Fang, I believe, still trying to work. Big Flex TTV is almost completed, already 90%, because remember, 90% is just getting to that, you know, that 5th lap. That's 80% right there. And just a little bit over halfway of that 5th lap puts you at that 90% mark. But if nobody finished the race, then, you know, everybody that had 90%, I mean, Blackhawks at that point can still take that first place spot if something happens to Amarok's Fang, but I highly doubt it, man. Right now, Amarok's Fang has a very good chance to get up there. That is super tough, man, to see it. Super tough to see.
If I am Big Flex right now, I am taking a wide berth when I see those rocks on the lake. I am not even remotely risking it. No chance. So they are past the 90% mark. It's not going to take them too much longer to get to the final stretch and that final straightaway. You will notice as they do actually come around that top left corner that it immediately starts coming flat, and we're sort of in that section now. It's mostly just debris on the ground to watch out for.
Yep, and one more time, man, big shout out to all of our camera crew, staff, volunteers, checkpoints. We love you guys. Thank you guys so much for helping us, man. And again, if you guys are watching at home and you guys want to join Aopoa Esports, man, jump into our Discord, discord.gg/Aopoa Esports, man. You know, come find a team to race in the next day rally, or maybe come find another teammate, you know, to do some combat in fight or flight. That's also coming up. So make sure you guys are, you know, staying tuned for all that good stuff. Or if you want to help, you know, with an event that we're hosting, man, feel free. Come on, come be a camera, come be a check mark, come be an official, man. We love to have more people in the community as we're a little family over here in our own world. But man, that is tough, bro. I'm still baffled, Francie. I'm still baffled right now of Blackhawks. Yeah. I'm still like in awe. I don't even know. I feel bad. I feel bad, Croncy.
Yeah, but look, they're still going to guarantee themselves a position in the top 4, so they're still going to pick up some pretty solid points, and they've already been doing quite well on the leaderboard, so they're definitely going to, while it is a little bit disappointing to lose that first place, at the very least, they're going to be quite happy that they you know, have solidified their position on the leaderboard. Speaking of solidifying a position on the leaderboard, we've got Herbie from Punch Buggy right here, and this is what I've been talking about. Herbie, even on the lake section, very, very slow. I doubt that this is much faster than maybe 80 meters a second, maybe barely 100 meters a second as they're going through that, because there's less things to deal with, but, you know, you don't want to end up accidentally crashing into one of those very small rocks.
By the way, I'm going to put it out here really quickly. Ludox, his fastest lap was 5 minutes and 44 seconds. Right now, Herbie's fastest lap is 10 minutes and 57 seconds, Croncy. So, just to show, and there we go. Amarok's Fang dropping it hot in first place here. Big Flex TTV earning his team 25 points with a total time of 34 minutes and 40 seconds right there, Croncy. So very, very good. And I believe we're trying to get Ludox here for a quick interview. If we can get the casters back on screen and bring on Ludox, his
there
voice.
goes the camera.
Oh, okay, that's just okay. That's normal. We see
It's
that every
Papa
day.
Freedom.
It's all good.
It's yeah.
Yep. Let's is Ludox on? Let's see if we can get him on here for a quick interview, man. Talk to him a little bit about it. And I don't know. I really want to get on what was his mind during that last moment. Let me see.
Yeah,
Get our
definitely.
officials ready.
Come on.
Sorry, go ahead, Croncy.
Listen.
Oh, yep. There we go. Are you there? You there, Ludox?
Yeah.
All right,
Hey, Ludox, how you
we're-
doing, man?
So bad, man.
I mean, look, you've got something to be very proud of. You managed to absolutely slam it through that city section every single lap, and you're still going to get a very, very respectable top four position, maybe even still a number 2. Can you tell us, did you have like some particular strategies for going through the city that quickly?
No, just consistency, to be honest.
Yep, that makes sense. I mean,
not to be too underneath, so take a piece with a mid-range. So
gotcha. It seems like you came very, very well prepared to this race. I mean, like I know you said consistency, but what did you do to prepare differently? Because you see how many racers went out, but you and Amrox fan were still going at the highest level. What was the difference there? Did you feel like, were you getting lucky, or did you already know what your game plan was coming into this race number 3?
my game plan was not to crash, but there you go. No, just I know very well what I was doing, but
Yep,
it can happen. So I just train a few hours every day, and you got the high level.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, look, you've
awesome,
you've been putting in a really consistent performance in these first 3 races. So, you're definitely one of the racers that we're going to be watching out for in the next couple, especially with, you're going to be still towards the top of the leaderboard even after today. And so, yeah, it's been a really impressive job. So just honestly, congratulations.
Yeah, this race was very important from points, but I mean, every pilot's got crashed. So, I mean.
yeah, it's very. Ludox, quick question for you, man. How has the entire experience of the System 7 been so far? For you, is it everything you've been wanting so far in like a racing league in Star Citizen, or you thought it was going to be something different?
No, I very like the events, so keep so the community still emerge and bring some players to those events. And yeah, I like the races, the maps, and
Gotcha.
We'll see.
All right, well, Ludox, man, thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate it, man. Sorry about that last moment for you. I know how much you probably really wanted it, but yeah. But any last words you want to say to the community? You can say it in Italian. I know you guys are from Italy. You could say whatever you want to say to the community, man. This is your moment right now.
Okay. I will say in Italian, so it's much easier for me. Voglio, mi dispiace, ma è successo. Doveva capitare. Ci rifacciamo alla prossima, dai. That's it.
All right. That's it. All right, Ludox, thank you for coming on, man. I really appreciate it, man. And yeah, please feel free. Go for it.
No, later. later.
Later? Okay. That's fine. All right. Thank you, man. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it, man. And good luck in the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. Man, Croncy, man, that's definitely tough. I want to say, first of all, big shots to to Team Blackhawks and Ludox for coming on and actually doing a quick interview, because that explosion I would say like, yeah, I don't want to talk to anybody right now. This is gonna be serious. But Croncy, man,
not to
like
diminish
the preparation. No, go.
Not to diminish the explosion, but it may be so far my favorite moment of the System 7 this year.
Wow.
It was a very climactic moment. It is a very unfortunate thing, but it's one of those things we're gonna remember that one. We're gonna remember that one years down the line.
Wow, man. But it's just a moment, man. Like, the guy was literally not even 100 meters away from finishing. He could have walked to the finish line and still won by like a good 60 seconds, man. I would have got off when I got to the ice and just ran, right? You got 30 minutes if you don't have an ice suit. You'll be okay. You'll be okay, yeah. Croncy. But, man, that is a tough position to be in. But, hey, guys, we still have Team Leviathan and Team Punch Buggy still have one more lap to go as they finish. You got to see Muxter up on the top, mid-top part. He's still racing. He's still doing well, taking it easy. And that's going to put Leviathan in a good position as well, Croncy, because let's see where Team Leviathan is currently at right now. I believe they are in place number 8 with 5 points only. So if they can take that second place spot, that's going to give them a good 18 points and put them up towards that top 5. So, this is not something that we saw coming, to be honest, but man, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, and not to mention, we've also got Amrox Fang with Big Flex TV. 2 things I want to mention. Firstly, the only team, as far as I can tell so far, that have had a different racer for every race that we've used so far this series. So obviously, pulling off each other's strengths, trying to focus on practicing particular races. But they were at 14 points at the end of last race, and this is going to skyrocket them to 39 if my math is correct. So they are going to be at the end of today, they're going to be within the top 3 of our leaderboard. Also, in addition, Herbie from Punch Buggy, our current leaderboard leader, if they are able to put some points on the board, if they're able to get past the 90-minute mark, they will very, very solidly be in first place, and it is going to be a very large uphill battle for the rest of the races.
Yeah, there's still a lot of more racing to go. I'm going to be 100% honest here, Croncy. This race was unfortunate, but, I love that we have a great community of not only great competitors, but also, a lot of the racers understanding that, the game is an alpha. There's obviously still a lot of issues. So even though, some of the racers do get upset, they still understand, what they're signing up for, right? And they still come week after week and compete at the highest level that they possibly can. And I absolutely love that about the racers, because they see that whenever ever possible this game gets to a state where there's no desync, they're going to have the best time of their life racing against each other in the highest level possible, where nothing is going to be able to hold them back in a scenario like this. So it gets me excited. So, I love this racing community for that reason. Everybody understands, everybody's mature about it, and nobody complains. Obviously we'll get some stuff, but, about the track, about the vehicle, but, the racers understand, and I absolutely love that about them. So thank you.
Yeah, not only that, but it obviously helps us make races in the future, and that has, happened over the past 2 years. It's helped us evolve racetracks. It's helped us evolve, vehicle choices and all those sorts of things. So this itself always can be a little bit of a test too, because you'd never really have 16 people all at once trying their absolute hardest to do these sorts of races. So it's a good experience for the Atmo team. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I 100% agree there. And, maybe in the future, once the game gets into a better spot, maybe we have top 24, but I love the format right now. You have to qualify if you want to be in that top 16. You can't take an easy road out, right? It's not like the Day Morale where you just sign up and you can, come on race day and race. For the System 7, if you're not the fastest on day 1, you don't get to race the rest of the races. So, and I absolutely love that they have to put in the time to qualify in order to even be considered one of the top racers in Star Citizen or even become a System 7 champion. So I can't wait. Like this is our I believe our 3rd year running the System 7. And again, big shout outs to our presenting sponsor Game Glass, but this is the 3rd year we're running the System 7, and I can't wait to see how incredible this Pillar tournament continues to grow in the community, Croncy.
Yeah, I will say the qualifiers always sort of end up being my favorite part of the entire series. It's really fun, like watching everyone practice and watching all the times come in on SCR and just trying to outdo each other over and over and over again. It's really fun. And then, being able to be amongst so many amazing races that have so many different claims to fame. You don't get to do anything like that. It's really cool. So it's always going to be my favorite race series. And there we go. So Leviathan already on lap 5, and we now have Herbie, our current 3rd place position, also in lap 5. If we see these races finish this lap, which is probably going to take about another 10 minutes or so, then that's going to be it for us, and that's going to be our top 3 sorted.
Yep, we're in that moment. We're going to get Amonox Fang. We're going to get Big Flex TTV online here in a minute, Croncy, and we're just going to talk to him about, we're going to talk to him about every single thing that happened today, and like if he's shocked that he actually end up with that 1st place spot, as he probably saw Blackhawks DNF. So we should be able to get Big Flex on here. Let's get the casters back on screen, and then let's see if Big Flex is on here so we can find out about his experience in the System 7 so far here today. Big Flex, you there? Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Oh, man, I'm just excited and happy that I was able to get the victory.
I mean,
I would imagine so.
I ain't gonna lie to you. You got the victory, but man, like one little mistake, just kind of, it brought Blackhawks down, man. But I'm glad you're feeling great. Glad you're feeling great, man.
Yeah, when my team told me he died right at the end, I couldn't believe he, was unfortunate to blow up at the end of the race. I was just taking it easy. I decided halfway through the race that I was fine with 2nd, that if something happened, I would get the win, but I was going to just take my time and go for 2nd place.
Yeah, I think definitely, obviously, you would have heard all of the people, having their DNFs over the course. It obviously makes a lot of sense to go that route. But, early in the race, we really did see you absolutely floor it in the city section. Did you have any specific strategies there? Did you just have a lot of practice on the race? Tell us what your thoughts were there.
All right, so yeah, I've had a lot of practice. I've probably put 5 hours a day, every day for the last 2 weeks into this track. I've been averaging time about 5 minutes and 30 seconds on the track, and I can absolutely rip it around. But once I got the big lead on 3rd place and I was a little behind 1st, me and my team discussed it and decided I would just slow down and take it easy.
I mean, I think that's a smart move overall, right? Yeah, it definitely worked out. Smart move overall, right? You guys want to stay steady, get some points on the board, and concentrate on the other races coming up. I mean, what has been the experience so far for Amonox Fang as a team? What's been your experience so far with System 7?
Oh, we've really enjoyed System 7. We come together as a team and work on like every single race. We all run them, see who's running the best time, then everyone else on the team backs that person up. So I wouldn't have been able to do this without my team. Like, we pull together on every single race that we run, and you all put on a great event, and we really enjoy it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome to hear. I was sort of mentioning earlier, you might be the first team, possibly in System 7 history, I would have to double check, that has so far had a different racer for every race that we've participated in so far. So did you guys like before the System 7, were you like, all right, you're practicing this race, you're practicing this race, you're practicing this race, or are you just practicing all of them? Whoever gets the best time goes. What's the deal there?
Well, we all want to race, so everybody's going to get their opportunity, but we decided early on that we're all going to run, and whoever's having the best time will run that race, as long as they're able to get into the race. So it is the best man's going to go in, but we're here to have fun. We want to make sure everybody gets the opportunity to run regardless.
Oh, wow. That's awesome, man. I love hearing, you know, that team camaraderie coming along. I know you guys participated in other events also coming up. I've seen you guys in even Fight or Flight. So I just love seeing, you know, Star Citizen bring, you know, a group of people together and bring something to the high level. So I'm going to say it here first, man. You know, obviously we take a look at these races after it's completed, but congratulations on first place, man. You know, the team should be happy, putting some 25 big points on the board. And yeah, congrats to you guys, and we'll talk to you guys again soon.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, congratulations.
All right, appreciate it, man. Another big interview. That's gonna be our last one for today, Croncy. As we see Team Leviathan and Punch Buggy finish that race, man. Again, man, I'm floored because, like, it's not about, you know, it's, to me, Croncy, it's not really about, you know, about who's winning, right? Seeing, you know, hearing Amarok's Fang that they race together as a team, they practice as a team together, and then they choose who's going to be the racer for that one race. I just love seeing that, you know, a team come together and do that, right? Like, I'm telling you, man, our events, I love these events for that reason, that we're bringing the Star Citizen community together to, you know, to fight towards a goal as a team. And that's whether it's to win System 7, whether it's to win the Day Morale, whether it's to win Fight or Flight. That's what it's all about, bringing everybody together for a great cause here. So I love that, Croncy. I love it.
Yeah, and it's just a smart tactic to do if you have the availability to do it, right? Because, you know, we've been talking about how some of our sort of star races that we've seen over the course of the last couple of years, they usually tend to have a speciality in one particular vehicle. Some of them are a bit all-rounded, but you can sort of eliminate that difference when you have this, where you can go, we're just going to try to find the best person for every single race when we do it, and then submit them in. It's cool to see, and hopefully we'll see more of that going forward.
Yeah, and, you know, like, for teams like Team Leviathan, right, and for Team Amarok's Fang, right, they weren't really at that top, but, you know, this could really, you know, pull the momentum for them to come as quickly as they can, gain that momentum, and hopefully continue to, you know, to stay consistent and put in points on the board. Because I know for a fact, Croncy, that a lot of these teams for the rest of the races are going to be practicing, and they're going to bring it. You know, we're back in the STV, we're back in the PTV, but they need to be able to bring it, because remember, for the heat races, everybody gets shuffled, right? It's not that 1 through 4 needs to compete. 5 through 6 needs to compete on the leaderboard. It all gets shuffled evenly. So, you know, the top 3 could end up in the same spot, but hey, they all get shuffled, and it's up to them to see who's going to be the fastest one for these next 2 races coming up. You need to bring it, because you got 3 people coming after you to knock you out and drop you down on the leaderboard once again.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that, you know, we do have another Gravlev race as part of the series. We do have the River race later on, and it's going to be another, like, pretty rough one. However, will be using the Dragonfly instead of the Nox. So a couple of the things that we saw today do get eliminated, so there is a little bit more survivability, hopefully. The water should not be as much of an issue as it has been in the past. And so, you know, you take the lessons that we've learned from today and from this race, and you apply that to the Dragonfly race, and we should see a more consistent finish. I mean, we may even see all 16 races do a Herbie, right? Which has a ring to it. I'm just going to keep saying that, and just sort of just go a little bit slower and try to finish the race that way. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Hopefully, some of the other issues that we don't really have control over can be eliminated by then.
Yep. So we should have a leaderboard ready towards the end of the race as well, Croncy. So I mean, you see Leviathan coming towards the end. Let's take a look at at our overview camera to see where Team Leviathan is currently at right now. So you see them right up top.
Yep.
You see Herbie right behind. Here comes the last trip here of the race for Team Leviathan. Is going to grab some 18 points in second place. Punch Buggy grabbing 12, while unfortunately Blackhawks is going to grab 18, because even though they did pass 90% of the race, or got through 90% of the race, they didn't finish. So they're going to take whatever placement they got towards the end, and that was tough, man. But, you know, looking at Ludox, like you said, Croncy, they're going to be a team to watch. They're very dangerous. They're very committed. They're going to bring it for race number 4.
Yeah, Blackhawks have really, really surprised me over these 3 races with just their absolute commitment to the series and some of the speeds that they're picking up. They're definitely putting in the work. And you can tell it every single time. I mean, the only reason that we saw an issue here was, one single rock, a single mistake, or possibly, a desync issue or whatever. One single thing happened that unfortunately brought them out of that first place, but they still are going to manage to get 4th place, even with all of that considered, right? And if they weren't going that speed the entire time, this very well may be a completely different story.
Yeah, it to me is tough because I know that Team Blackhawks, man, they really wanted those 25 points, and that was going to put them very, very high, on that pedestal, man. It's so tough to see, man, that they went out at that moment, and it's heartbreaking for me, Croncy. It's so heartbreaking. I really wanted them to be up there. I really, really wanted that.
Yeah. So moving on, we can see now, we're approaching the end. We've got Leviathan coming across the finish line right now, going to lock in that 2nd place position. We just saw Punch Buggy coming around that final straight there. As long as Herbie can get past where Blackhawks did DNF, that's also going to be a 3rd place position for them. And those are some huge, huge results. As I was saying earlier, Amarok's Fang are going to pick up 25 points for this one, bringing them to 39, well within the top 3 spots. Leviathan able to give themselves a bit more competition here. They're going to pick up a bunch of points. And then Herbie, I mean, Team Punch Buggy is making a runaway with this series, but they don't like these vehicles. They're not a fan of these vehicles. So next couple of weeks, it's if you have someone who's a bit more confident that can get those speeds past, it's going to be interesting. Herbie has a lot of time to learn these new vehicles, but it is by far they're just not confident in it. So yeah.
Yep. Right now I'm putting this leaderboard together, Croncy, and I'm telling you, it's looking it's just looking dangerous right now, man. It's looking really good. Love seeing the changes. Punch Buggy gets a little bit of a boost, but doesn't get as much as you want the boost to be. And it's just not as easy overall. There we go. Team Punch Buggy taking it nice and slow. Very good tactic here. Putting a look by going slow, Croncy, right? By going slow, he got lapped 2 times, still putting up a decent 12 points on the board. So great job to that team. Seriously.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm just happy that Herbie was able to do the slow strat this year. I am very grateful for that, because it was definitely something that they were a little bit nervous about after last year, but it worked out for them, and it's they've definitely got to be happy with that finish.
Yeah, right in that beginning, we saw a lot of great teams too, man. Like Team Splen was up there. They just had some great teams up there, man, and I wish to see a lot of these teams finish, but this is just sometimes how it ends up working. So tough spot here for everybody. Just trying to finish the leaderboard here, where we should be almost done, and we should be able to get it shown here very, very soon, Crunchy.
Yeah, so while we're getting that together, I want to make sure, guys, if you raced in today, thank you very much. Thank you for racing today. We appreciate it. We know that patches can be a bit rough sometimes. We know, some vehicles might be nerfed or whatnot sometimes, but it's really awesome to see you guys come in and give it your all. And, we did see a lot of really fun racing. So I appreciate that. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, dude, my leaderboard is all over the place right now. I'm trying to get this fixed up. but we're trying to get it fixed up real quick. But yeah, I mean, Crossy, give me some thoughts about today's race. I know we saw a lot of explosions. Just give me your own thoughts. Like, what do you thought about today's race? That do you feel like, obviously the explosions, do you feel like it was the servers? I mean, just tell me a little bit about your thoughts here, and what are you looking forward to race number 4 coming up?
Yeah, so in terms of today's race, these these vehicles aren't in the best state necessarily. The track is pretty decent for the most part. There's a couple of instances where maybe there's some rough debris, which is a bit hard to account for. Unfortunately, it happens every patch. Debris gets sort of re-randomized and can appear in some awkward situations. But all things considered, especially 318, I'm actually surprised that we managed to get some finishes, and so I'm really happy about that. I'm happy we did get some people across the finish line. Now, coming into race number 4, this is really interesting. I feel like a lot of the races, they're happy that this one is done with, and they get to use a bit more of their favorite vehicles. We've got some people who love the PTV. Definitely anyone who likes the Cyclone RC, I'm sure, prefers the STV over to a Gravlev, and we have a lot of Cyclone RC fans in the race. So yeah, the next 2 races, they're a bit more comfortable. There's also, I've mentioned before, even though it technically isn't, it sort of feels a little bit easier to get a top 8 when you are in these these 4-person rallies. What do we call them? I can't. The word has escaped me.
What?
Heat. The heat type races. It feels a little bit easier to get in top 8 because really you just need to come first or second in your first race, and then you're guaranteed a top 8. And there's something about that where it's kind of just, hey, it's a 50-50. I don't have to go too hard. I know it's always a 50-50, and I know it doesn't make much sense, but trust me, it makes sense in my brain. So I think a lot of people will be a little bit more comfortable with the heat system for the next 2 races. And it's also a couple of races that are a little bit easier to practice too. So should be some advantages there.
Well, let's take a look at our leaderboard that is ready to go, Croncy, right now. It's already updated. So, let's take a quick look here. But we see Team Punch Buggy in first place with 55 points. Amarok's Fang delivering first place overall for this race at 39 points. Blackhawks, unfortunately, dropping down towards the end because of that quick explosion towards the end of the finish line, putting them with 32 points. Team Nomis, though, still holding strong, Croncy. Team Nomi still doing pretty well with 28 points. Team Leviathan putting in some big points as well. 23 points. Diplomat with Team Farad still at 21. And then it just a big decline drop there. Delta Dietis, Scatcom, Team Splend. But again, we still got 4 races to go. There's still a lot of racing to do. Any of these teams can still come from the basement and take over that leaderboard at any moment. Seriously, Croncy, 2 wins back-to-back, 50 points. Puts you up there very quickly. So all I'm going to say is that these teams need to get on it, need to practice. They need to really bring their A game because, there was obviously a lot of, different aspects of, this race today with the Nox, but still, we have our results here. And, man, it's I can still see any of these teams really just take it at the end of the race or at the end of the season, Croncy. I don't think any of these teams that you see right now are too far behind, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely, especially with Team Blackhawks, the team that we've been talking a lot about in these last 3 races. They got a 3rd place, a 3rd place, and a 4th place, right? Really, really consistent positions. If they can just continue that for the rest of the series, that's a guaranteed podium, basically, at this stage. Yep. So definitely watching out for them this entire race. But boy, do people have a hard battle coming up for them. Herbie with an absolutely commanding lead on the leaderboard. But like I said, they're not very comfortable with these other vehicles. It's not really their forte. The only reason that they came 3rd today is because they took a vehicle they weren't confident with and slowed it all the way down.
All the way down.
So, yeah, it sort of could go anyway. I think, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, to be 100% fair, right? I feel like if there wasn't any of these issues, I think, Herbie would have been at that goose egg with the points, in my opinion. But still, hey, it's again, we tell the racers prepare for the best, prepare for the worst, prepare for all the above. But again, a big shout out to all of them because they come with a great competitive spirit to race and they put it all on the line. So big shout out to all the racers, Croncy. Sorry to interrupt.
No, yeah, definitely, 100%. I have a lot of respect for a lot of these races and some of the races that they do and some of the times that they put in. It's incredible to see, and it's always awesome to be a part of their racing story.
Yes, 100%. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we gave you an updated leaderboard. Let's go to our full screen views. I don't know what Flanneter's doing. He's dancing around in the verse, but I just want to say, for all of you watching at home, I love you guys. I love this community with all my heart. That's why we're here. We're all volunteers here at Aopoa Esports, man. We make these events happen. We make them shine. We make them look good for you guys. I cannot thank you guys all enough for watching at home this exciting race today for the Babbage Bash, or this exciting explosion race, whatever you want to call it. I really appreciate you guys, every single one of you that have been here with us today, watching, chatting it up in the chat, saying hello. Really appreciate it. You know, this is the first time we're streaming to 3 different platforms. Hopefully we'll do a couple more as well, so that way wherever you are, you don't miss a beat here of our Aopoa Esports events. But thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. Croncy, any last words that you want to put out there to the community before we take off?
Thanks everyone for participating, particularly those racers who have a big racing weekend going at the moment. And thank you everyone at home for watching this awesome event series. Can't wait to be back in 2 weeks and see what people can bring up.
Yep. Well, from the entire staff here at Aopoa Esports, thank you guys all so much. We love you. We'll see you guys again on May 13th for where competitors are jumping back on the STV. All right, here on Cloud Chasers in Orison. We'll see you guys there, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Love you guys. Appreciate it.